Police report suspected fraud case in connection with charity that helps drug addicts. Controversy for funding cut for Hong Kong Drama Awards. The U.S. says Houthis are a terrorist organization again. Hello and welcome to TVB News. 4 directors of the Christian Zheng Sheng Association have been arrested on suspicion of being connected to a $50 million fraud scheme. 3 other directors who are currently overseas, including Christian Zheng Sheng College headmaster Alman Chan, are on the police's wanted list. Timothy Lee has our top story.
A suspected fraud scandal rocking a well-known anti-drug charity organization. According to a social media page belonging to Christian Junction College headmaster Alman Chan Siu-chuk, who is one of the suspects allegedly involved in the suspected fraud case and currently on the run, was last seen in the UK earlier this month. Sources said another of the directors under suspicion is the association's founder Jacob Lam. Police earlier arrested 4 Christian Junction Association directors aged between 34 and 77, seizing large amounts of operational records and bank documents. The force said they received reports at the end of December about issues related to Christian Junction Association's accounts and promptly began investigations. They found that Chan sought financial support online to assist the school between October and December 2020, citing declining donations with the aim of securing $300,000 per month. Chan ultimately received $45 million, but investigations found that donations to the Christian anti-drug organization were on an upward trajectory even before Chan's online post. Less than 10% of the new donations were allocated to Christian Junction College. Police also noted more than 300 transfers of the funds were made to the association's directors and Chan's accounts between late 2020 and 2023. This as more than $50 million were transferred abroad on 13 occasions between 2022 and 2023. The force emphasized the decision by certain directors to flee after investigations got underway raised suspicions. They added a number of suspects began adjusting their personal assets half a year before the donations began. Located on Lantau Island, Christian Junction College provides education and living quarters for young people fighting drug addiction. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
The Hong Kong Arts Development Council has cut funds to the Hong Kong Drama Awards, citing the event's harm to the council's reputation. The annual ceremony has been held for some 30 years. The council's chair, Kenneth Falk, explained that the move is to reduce legal risks, but a lawmaker raised concerns about the ensuing chilling effect on the art industry. Jackie Lin with more.
On Wednesday, the Hong Kong Federation of Drama Societies revealed it received 2 letters from the Hong Kong Arts Development Council in early December. The council said it will no longer subsidize the Hong Kong Drama Awards, following complaints that cited inappropriate arrangements during last year's ceremony. The council said there were views that the event might have directly or indirectly harmed the council's reputation. One letter mentioned the intense competition and limited resources of the council. The Drama Federation said it tried to seek clarity over what specific arrangements and content had raised concerns, but said the council has not given a reply. The Arts Development Council's chairperson Kenneth Falk meanwhile said they received a letter from the Federation on December 31st, and the body replied on Friday. Falk said in the allocation of resources, the body has a duty to minimize its risk of breaking the law, including the national security law. It's understood the awards last year featured presenters including political cartoonist Zun Zi, who has often been criticized by government officials, and journalist Bao Choi, who was arrested over making false statements to access vehicle records, but was later cleared of wrongdoing at the top court. The award was themed Courage. Noting the move's chilling effect on the art industry, lawmaker Teck Chi-yun said the Federation had received government subsidies for more than 20 years, and the abrupt suspension will have deep repercussion on the city's art scene. The Leisure and Culture Services Department also told the Drama Federation it will not offer a venue for the 32nd awards ceremony this year. The Hong Kong Drama Awards was first held in 1992. The Federation says it will not give up on hosting the Drama Awards. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
Former CEO of Next Digital Chung Kim-hum continued to testify as an accomplice witness in media tycoon Jimmy Lai's national security trial this afternoon. Chung said Lai first brought up the idea of launching an English edition of Apple Daily in May 2020 in a WhatsApp group. That's to reach out to American readers. Lai also asked for English translations of articles from the newspaper's Chinese edition that were against the Chinese Communist Party, Chung added. On the online talk show Live Chat with Jimmy Lai, Chung said Lai and his personal assistant, Mark Simon, were responsible for arranging guests themselves without the help of Apple Daily staff. The hearing will continue tomorrow morning. There has been no change in the 3-month unemployment rate. The Census and Statistics Department says the seasonally adjusted rate stood at 2.9% between October and December. Most sectors saw a slight increase in workers getting jobs. Total employment is still around 3.7 million. Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun predicts more inbound tourism should continue to boost job opportunities. Overseas, amid high tension in the Red Sea, the U.S. has put the Houthis back on their list of designated terrorists. The militants have been firing missiles at American and Israeli allied ships in support of the Palestinians in Gaza. This as the U.S. military launched more strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. David Garrett reports.
Funerals for the Houthi fighters killed in recent US air raids. America has vowed to weaken the militants' capabilities so they can no longer target vessels in the Red Sea. A spokesperson for the Houthis said his group will attack Israeli and US ships in support of the Palestinians in Gaza, and that the Houthis are not deterred by another US strike on their infrastructure. The Yemeni armed forces have carried out an operation against US-owned ship Genco Picardy in the Gulf of Aden using a number of missiles. The hit was precise and direct, Brigadier Yahya Sari said. The Yemeni armed forces emphasises that the response is inevitably coming. In Washington, D.C., the Pentagon confirmed strikes continue and believe they are making an impact.
We hit what we intended to hit with good effects. Again, the objective here was to disrupt and degrade Houthi capabilities to conduct attacks. And we believe that overall, in terms of the scope and the number of strikes that we took, we have degraded their ability to attack. Clearly, they maintain some capability.
The Joe Biden administration have put the Iran-allied group back on their list of terrorist groups. President Biden had initially reversed a Donald Trump policy in 2021.
These attacks against international shipping have endangered mariners and disrupted the free flow of commerce and freedom of navigation. For the past several weeks, the United States, with allies and partners around the world, has made clear that there must be consequences for those attacks.
In the press conference, a journalist asked whether America's support of Israel is the problem.
I don't know what attacks on those ships has to do with the conflict in Gaza. In fact, I do know what it has to do with the conflict in Gaza. Nothing.
For those in the shipping industry, the situation in the Red Sea is dangerous at a costly time.
This has temporarily changed the dynamic of the market. Freight rates have gone up, and it's more acute now because we're in a sort of busy demand period in the pre-Chinese New Year. There's always a rush to get cargoes out before holidays.
With neither the Houthis or US backing down, it is unclear how long the difficult period in shipping will continue. David Garrett, TVB News.
Pakistan's Air Force launched retaliatory airstrikes early Thursday on Iran. The strikes in Sistan and Baluchistan province follow Iran's attack Tuesday on Pakistani soil that killed 2 children in the southwestern part of the country. Allegedly targeting militant positions, the Pakistani Air Force killed at least 7 people during the attack. Iran and nuclear-armed Pakistan have long regarded each other with suspicion. The attacks also raised the threat of violence spreading in the Middle East. Several insurgent groups operate in Iran and Pakistan, including the Jaish al-Adl Sunni separatist group that was targeted by Tehran in its own strike. They have a common goal of an independent Baluchistan for ethnic Baluch areas in Afghanistan, Iran, and Pakistan. Singapore's former Transport Minister S. Iswaran has been charged in court with corruption after resigning earlier. In his resignation letter published by the Singaporean Prime Minister's office, Iswaran said he rejected the charges and will focus on clearing his name. If convicted, he could be fined up to 100,000 Singaporean dollars or face 7 years in prison. Singapore's Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau said Iswaran, who was arrested in July, is alleged to have obtained kickbacks valued at over 384,000 Singaporean dollars from property tycoon Ong Beng Seng. Charge sheets show the alleged favors include tickets to football matches, musicals, flights on Ong's private plane, and tickets to the Singapore Formula One Grand Prix. Still ahead, Hong Kong has a new logo to represent the city. The Rwanda bill on sending refugees to the African country is passed in the British Parliament. New process to improve docking in Chinese space station. Welcome back. The government has released new promotional logos for Hong Kong that will be used at government-sponsored or supported events. The design stems from the door always open architecture of the central government offices. They will come in 5 colors, including blue, green, and red. The Government Information Services, which designed the logo, said the concept of the design highlights the government's open-minded attitude to events. Authorities will hold an exhibition starting next Monday to promote the logo to the public. The Hong Kong Red Cross said there is only 3 to 4 days worth of blood left in its blood bank owing to the effects of the flu season. The blood transfusion service said it lacks most in blood types O and A and called on residents to donate blood urgently. The Hong Kong Red Cross said it typically receives between 18,000 and 19,000 packs of blood a month, but received around 1,000 fewer packs in December because of the influenza season. The Red Cross added many residents believe they cannot donate blood after they are vaccinated for the flu, but they stressed it is safe to do so a day after the jab if donors do not feel sick. Professor Wallace Lau of the University of Hong Kong's new Dean of the Faculty of Medicine revealed the institution's bid to recruit more staff and expand its campuses in the coming few years. Jackie Lin with more.
Every year, 295 students are admitted to the University of Hong Kong's medical school. But with the brain drain facing the city's public health sector, more students might be able to study medicine at HKU in future. This as Professor Wallace Lau Chek-sing, who was appointed HKU's Dean of the Faculty of Medicine last year, revealed the medical school is ready to expand its student intake. Lau said if the SAR government wants to increase the intake of medical students and expand the teaching and research buildings at HKU, the faculty is ready to help. He said if its faculty's annual admission is allowed to recruit 400 or more students over the coming 4 to 5 years, it's not about competing with other medical schools. Instead, it's about competing with HKU itself for improvement. With more students comes a need for more teaching staff. Lau admits there was a manpower crunch, but the faculty recruited 35 new staff members from around the world over the past 1.5 years. There's also a team dedicated to the global and mainland recruitment efforts. He added the planned development of a new teaching hospital in the northern metropolis and a medical campus in Shenzhen could promote more collaboration for scientific research with hospitals in the Greater Bay Area. They include the sharing and exchanges of clinical and research data. Jackie Lin, TVB News.
The public can book online or to reserve new or good as new banknotes for red packets at branches of 3 note-issuing banks in preparation for the Chinese New Year. According to HSBC's website, bookings for multiple branches are already full. The Bank of China's website also shows all available slots for reservation today have been snapped up. Account holders of HSBC can reserve new or good-as-new banknote bundles on the bank's mobile banking or website. The Bank of China offers a standard $3,000 bundle. Standard Chartered offers a total of 3 bundles. Overseas, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has scored a political victory and quelled a Conservative Party rebellion. He got his stalled plan to send some asylum seekers on a one-way trip to Rwanda through the House of Commons on Wednesday. Daniel Rao tells us more.
Lawmakers voted 320 to 276 to back a bill intended to overcome a UK Supreme Court block on the Rwanda plan. The vote came a day after some 60 members of British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's ruling Conservatives rebelled in an effort to make the legislation tougher. The dissent cost Sunak two-party deputy chairman who quit in order to vote against the government. However, when it came to a vote on the bill as a whole, the rebellion melted away. Only 11 Conservatives voted against the legislation. The bill now goes to the House of Lords, the British Parliament's upper chamber, where it could face more opposition. If ultimately approved, the law would allow the government to disapply sections of UK human rights law when it comes to Rwanda-related asylum claims and make it harder to challenge the deportations in court. With data showing the Conservatives trailing far behind the Labour opposition in opinion polls, Sunak has made the controversial immigration policy central to his attempt to win an election this year. He argues that deporting unauthorised asylum seekers will deter people from making risky journeys across the English Channel and break the business model of people smuggling gangs.
It is important that we stop the boats because illegal migration is simply not fair, Mr. Speaker. It's not right that some people jump the queue, that they take away our resources to help those who are the most compassionate, that need our most help.
The UK and Rwanda made a deal almost 2 years ago under which migrants who reached Britain across the Channel would be sent to Rwanda, where they would stay permanently. Britain has paid Rwanda at least £240 million under the agreement, but no one has yet been sent to the East African country. Human rights groups have criticised the plan as inhumane and unworkable. The UK Supreme Court ruled in November that the policy was illegal because Rwanda isn't a safe country for refugees. In response to the court ruling, Britain and Rwanda signed a treaty pledging to strengthen protections for migrants. Sunak's government argues the treaty allows it to pass a law declaring Rwanda a safe destination. Danaral, TV News.
After a long day in a New York courtroom for a defamation case where he was the defendant, former U.S. President Donald Trump changed track and continued his campaign trail in New Hampshire, where a Republican primary will be held in just a few days. More from NBC News.
Tonight, the campaign sprint to the New Hampshire primary, taking a detour through a New York City courtroom. Donald Trump there for a second defamation lawsuit by writer E. Jean Carroll, who testified today. The judge threatening to kick out the Republican frontrunner for talking too loudly to his attorney. Trump saying, "I would love it." The judge replying, "I know you would because you just can't control yourself in this circumstance." On social media, Trump attacking the judge as, quote, a seething and hostile Clinton-appointed judge who is abusive, rude, and obviously not impartial.
I'm leaving right now for New Hampshire. We just got a poll in that shows me leading by a lot. And I think we'll do there maybe similar to what we did in Iowa.
It comes after Trump's rally in New Hampshire overnight.
Nikki Haley is a disaster.
Looking for another landslide win and going after Nikki Haley. A new poll shows Haley in a distant second here, trailing Trump by 16 points.
She's not tough enough to deal with these people. I will tell you that. She's not tough enough.
Your time is Tuesday.
The Granite State widely seen as make or break for Haley, with its mix of more independent voters and moderate Republicans like Haley supporter Jude Blake.
Well, I think Trump doesn't believe in my version of democracy, and I'm just looking for an alternative. Plus, younger. We need younger, and we need women.
Haley campaigning overnight.
I voted for President Trump twice, but rightly or wrongly, chaos follows him. You know I'm right. Chaos follows him.
I'm the only one that's not running a basement campaign.
While Ron DeSantis calling out both Trump and Haley for refusing to debate before the primary here.
Donald Trump won't debate. He's not willing to defend his record. And Nikki Haley won't debate because she's not willing to defend her record. What does that say?
But that's not swaying Trump supporter Bob Swan. What put Trump over the top after you looked at everybody else?
The previous administration and
just the fact that he has an actual record.
Forceful and willing to fight against the establishment.
China's Tianzhou 7 cargo spacecraft has docked with the orbiting Tiangong space station 3 hours after takeoff.
3、2、1，点火。
The rocket blasted off from Hainan Island at just before 10:30 last night and made its way toward the space station around 3 hours later at 1:46 Beijing time. The rocket ship docked with Tiangong, where the astronauts picked up supplies. The process usually takes over 6 hours, so this cuts the time by more than half. More than 260 items were delivered. This included equipment for experiments, fruit and vegetables, plus a few surprises for Chinese New Year. With Tianzhou 7 able to carry more weight, the next resupply will not be until August. That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.